Hi friends, it's me, Miss Chacon. We're back. Today is Friday. It is Fun Friday. We have a lot of stuff going on today. But first, today we have our math lesson. So, what we're going to do is we're going to learn about minutes now. In the past, we've learned about hours. We learned about how to tell hours on an analog clock and a digital clock. Now we're looking at half hours. Now, half hour means that it's halfway through the hour. So I'll go ahead and show you. So it says trace the hour hand red. So I'm going to use orange because I don't have red. So the hour hand is the little one. So we're going to trace this, okay? And trace the minute hand blue. The minute hand is the long hand. So we're going to trace this. And it says, now we're going to show the time. So when we're looking at this, we can see that this minute hand right here, it goes all the way to the middle. So it goes to the middle between 10 and 11. That's really different. In the past, the minute hand was pointing right at 10 or right at 11. It was never in the middle. So this is kind of hard, right? We don't know what we're going to do. So let me show you a trick. So whenever the hour hand is in the middle, that means that it is the number that's facing down. So whenever it's in the middle, it's going to be facing at 10. If the hour hand was in like this, if it was in the middle between 8 and 9, then the hour would be 8. So let me erase that real quick. So basically, we know that it's 10 o'clock. And we know that it's 10 o'clock, but we don't know the minutes. Because, see, the minute hand is not pointing at the 12. So it's not exactly 10 o'clock. If the minute hand was pointing at the 12, then it would be exactly 10 o'clock. But look at this. The minute hand is on the 6. So I'm confused. Is it 10 or 6 o'clock? Well, the minute hand is on the 10, so we know it's going to be 10. And the hour hand is on the 6. So that does not mean that it's going to be 10:06. If you look here, this minute hand is halfway through the circle. Because if it started here and it went all the way around, it's halfway done. Because then it just needs the other half to get back to the 12. You see that? So it's halfway done. So because of that, whenever the minute hand is pointing at the 6, so pointing at the 6 is right here. Whenever the minute hand is pointing at the 6, that means the minute is going to be 30. So it is 10:30 or 10:30. So it is not 10, it is 10:30 because it went halfway past 10. Now, it may not make full sense yet, but don't worry, it'll make sense in a bit, okay? See and show. An analog clock can show time to the half hour. A half hour is 30 minutes. So whenever it's at the halfway point, see how half of this clock is colored yellow and the other half is white? That means that when the minute hand is at the halfway point, it's at 6. So it's at a half hour. And that means it's at 30 minutes. So we're going to look at the hour hand first. And the hour hand is right in the middle. You see how it's right in the middle between 4 and 5? That means we go backwards. We always go backwards. We never go forwards. We go backwards. And it's going to be 4 o'clock. So we know that it's 4:30. It's 4:30 because it's halfway through, so it's 4:30. And now here's the tricky part. When you're talking about minutes, we're not going 4:01, 4:02, 4:03, 4:04, 4:05, 4:06. When we're talking about minutes, we count by fives. So when it's at 12, when the minute hand is up here, it's at 0. That's why if the minute hand was up here, we'd say it was 4 o'clock. But When the minute hand goes to 1, we count by fives. So it would be 4:05, 4:10, 4:15, 4:20, 4:25, 4:30. So it's kind of like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You count by fives when you're doing the minute hand. So in order to get to 6, we have to count by fives. So we're going to go 0, 5, 10, 20, 30. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So look at that. We made it to 30. So whenever it's at 6, the minute is going to be 30. And we know that because the hour is in the middle, it's going to be at 4. So it is either 4:30 or 4:30. Either way you say it is right. You can say, oh, it's 4:30, or you can say, oh, it's 4:30. Now let's look at this one. It's past what? So we know it's half because it's at the 6, so that means the hour is halfway done. But what number is this? So it's right in the middle between 9 and 10. You always go back. So we went back, and it is at 9, 9:30. Now we look at here, it's past because we know it's going to be past because it's at the 6. Now we're in between 1 and 2. You're always going to go back. We always go back in time. We never go forward when it's in the middle. We always go back in time. And we see that it's 1:30. Now over here, this one's hard because we see that it's past, but past what? It's so close to the 7 and so close to the 6. So what we do is we draw a line to the middle, we point back, and we see that when we point back, it's going to be at 6. So 6:30. Now let's look at this one. It is past because the minute hand got from here all the way to here. And now the hour hand is halfway through 3 and 4. We always go back in time and we find that it is 3:30. Okay, now let's talk math. It is 8:30. Explain what past means. Past means that half of the hour has passed. So that means that since 8 o'clock has started, half of the hour has passed. So it's 8:30, so it's 8:30. Now on my own. So you're going to read these clocks. Remember, when it's in the middle, you go back in time. You don't go forward. So you're going to pick the smaller number. And you're going to pick it's past what time on all of these. So I'll give you 5 minutes. Go ahead and pause this video and come back to it. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, pause. I hope you paused this video. Welcome back. So what we're going to do now is look at number 5. So we see here it's past because it went to the 6. So it started at 12 and it made it all the way halfway through the clock. Then we see it's past what? Well, it's right in the middle. We always go back in time and pick the smaller number, and it is 10:30. So when we pick between 10 and 11, we're going to pick 10 because it's smaller. Now we're going to see past. The minute hand is on the halfway point, and the hour hand is between 2 and 3. So we're going to go right to the middle. It's between 2 and 3, so we're going to pick 2. 2 is smaller. 2 is back in time. So 2:30. Then we're going to go over here to this one. It's past. Now, is it going to be 6:30 or 5:30? I hope you said 5:30 because it's in the middle between 5 and 6. We always go back in time and pick the smaller number. So it is 5:30. Now over here, it's halfway point. It's between 11 and 12. Are we going to pick 11 or 12? You're going to pick 11 because 11 is the smaller number. So it is 11:30. Same thing over here in number 9. The minute hand is on the 6, so it's going to be half past. And between 8 and 9, we're going to go to the middle. Is it 8:30 or 9:30? Oops, sorry about that, friends. Is it 8:30 or 9:30? It's going to be 8:30 because 8 is the smaller number and we go this way. So it's 8:30. Now over here we have 8:30 and it comes right between 7 and 8. Now this one was between 9 and 8 and we picked 8. This one's between 7 and 8. So are we going to pick 8 again or are we going to pick 7? I hope you said 7 because when it's between a bigger and a smaller number, we pick the smaller number when it comes to 8:30. So it's 7:30. Now it's between 12 and 1. And we are going to pick the smaller number. Now, you may say, Miss Chacon, 12 is not smaller than 1, right? 12 is a bigger number. But over here in time, we're going back, and going back in time means that we're going to 12. 12 happens before 1 o'clock. So we're going to go back and pick 12. So 12:30, okay? Now over here, it's between 5 and 4. It's right in the middle, and it's going to be 4:30. Okay, let's go to the next page. Jen's class is leaving for a field trip at the zoo at 10 o'clock. So we're going to underline that because that's something we know. So Jen's class is leaving for a field trip to the zoo at 10 o'clock. The class arrives at the zoo 30 minutes later. What time do they arrive at the zoo? So if they leave for the trip at 10 and arrive 30 minutes later, they arrive 10:30. Now you may say, Miss Chacon, how do you know that? Well, if it's 10 o'clock, they left at 10, so it's 10:00. Then they arrived at the zoo 30 minutes later. So we're going to add 30 minutes. And so it's 30, and there's no hours because we're not adding hours. So we're going to add, it's going to be 0 because there's zeros here. 3 plus 0 is 3. And then we bring down the 0 hour here and the 1 down here. And that makes it 10:30 or 10:30. So we're going to write 10:30. Now let's look at this. Nate will go to football practice at 4:30. So 4:30. Show this time on the clock. So first let's do 4:30. So we know the minute hand is going to be at 6. That's how we know it's 4:30. So we're going to point the long minute hand at 6, okay? And then it's 4:30. So that means it's going to be halfway past 4. So here's 4, and we have to point it halfway past 4. So we're going to put it right between 4 and 5. You see that? We put it right between 4 and 5. So that's the time that shows on the clock, 4:30. And then it says, if practice lasts 1 hour, what time will it end? So if we have 4:30, 4, and then 4 hours and 30 minutes, if we have, the time is 4:30, and we're adding 1 hour because he didn't leave for 1 hour. So 1 hour, 0 minutes. We're going to add and find out what time did he leave. So we add the zeros, there's 0. We add the 3 and the 0, there's 3. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. So it's going to be 5:30 or 5:30. And that is how you add hours and minutes. So it's 5:30. Now, what is the difference between the minute hand and the hour hand? Tell me the difference between the minute hand and the hour hand. What time does the minute hand tell you? Does it tell you about minutes or does it tell you about the hour? What time does the hour hand tell you? Does it tell you about the hours or the minutes? So tell me about this on your right math. Okay, my friends? All right, that's it for today. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and stay well. Bye, friends.